Good morning. We'll give folks a moment to come in from the waiting room. As a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do keep yourself on mute unless and until you are appearing or testifying before the board. Give just another moment for folks to come in. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Wednesday, June 8th, 2022. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing will be recorded and posted to the city of Boston's website. And just a note, due to scheduling conflicts, the voting hearing for the licensing board will be taking place this afternoon, today, June 8th, 2022 at 2 p.m. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Thank you, Danny. Good morning. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm chair of the Boston Licensing Board, and today I'm joined by my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Kiana Saxon and Commissioner Liam Curran.
Thank you. Once again, as a reminder, please mute yourself unless or until you are appearing or testifying before the board. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly. I will call each item in the order it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. You will then make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chairwoman and commissioners. Following the questions, there will be testimony beginning with elected officials or their representatives. Please limit your testimony to 2 minutes and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any. I will begin with item number 1 on this morning's agenda, now calling Fruit Tea MA Inc., doing business as Yifang Taiwan Fruit Tea, located at 14 Brighton Ave, has applied for a common victular license to be exercised on the above, approximately 1,110 square feet on the first floor with a dining area and tea bar kitchen in the rear. Manager Emily Chen, hours of operation 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Attorney Russell Chen. Attorney Chen.
Yes, good morning. Thank you very much, Attorney Green, Chairman Joyce, and members of the board. My name is Attorney Russell Chen, 400 Hancock Street, Quincy, Massachusetts. I'm here on behalf of Fruit Tea Mass 2 Inc., doing business as Yifang Taiwan Fruit Tea. That is a franchise business that is proposing to open at 14 Brighton Avenue in Allston. The location is a space formerly occupied by an auto repair shop. I should be joined here by manager Emily Chen. Ms. Chen is proposing to open this essentially bubble tea, fruit tea store at 14 Brighton Avenue. The premises is approximately 1,110 square feet. It has a storefront, it has a separate kitchen, and a dining area and a tea bar. It is able to accommodate 24 people. The hours of operation would be 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9:30. That is proposed. There's no outdoor seating. Jen has her ServSafe certification, as well as her certificate of allergy awareness training. I'm happy to address any questions that the board may have.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
No questions for me, thank you.
No questions for me, thanks.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Connor Newman. The applicant met with the Allston Civic Association and received their support and is in an area part of an active business district. At this time, we'd like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling item number 2, Flight Club Seaport LLC, located at 60 Seaport Boulevard. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Paul J. Crowley Jr. to Brooke E. Collinson. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon representing the licensee. Signed on with us this morning is Brooke Collinson, who is the proposed manager of record for the licensed establishment. By way of background, she is a U.S. citizen, a Massachusetts resident, and familiar with the rules and regulations of the board and the ABCC pertaining to the service and sale of alcohol. She has worked in the industry over the past decade at various locations throughout Boston and the greater Boston metro area in managerial roles, most recently at Flight Club since October of 2019 as general manager. Happy to answer any questions or concerns the board might have regarding this application.
Excuse me. Thank you, attorney. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Kern, do you?
No question.
No questions for me.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 3, Hilton Management LLC, doing business as Hilton Boston Logan Airport, located at 1 Hotel Drive in East Boston. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Bruce D. Roy to John Paul Fitzgerald, who is present on behalf of the licensee. Is anybody here this morning on behalf of Hilton Boston?
Sorry, John Paul Fitzgerald is here.
Oh, great, thank you. Mr. Fitzgerald, is it possible to have your camera on? Perfect.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for joining us. I just lost where you were. What name were you under?
So we're under Hilton Manage LLC, doing business under Hilton Boston Logan Airport Hotel, 1 Hotel Drive, East Boston, Massachusetts. I am here representing the Hilton Boston Logan Airport Hotel to change the name of our liquor license manager from Bruce D. Roy to myself. I'm representing the hotel here today.
Okay, great. Mr. Fitzgerald, are you a citizen?
Yes,
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
yes,
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
yes,
And are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
yes, I am.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions. Commissioners, do you?
None for me. Thank you.
Nothing further for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling items number 4 and 5, American Multi-Cinema Inc., doing business as AMC, located at 25 District Ave in Dorchester, and doing business as AMC Theaters Boston Common 19, located at 175 Tremont Street. Holder of a common victualler South Bay restricted 7-day all alcoholic beverages license and holder of a common victualler 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of officers, directors, LLC managers of the corporation. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
And Selena Udon here to represent the applicant American Multi-Cinema Inc., located at 11500 Ash Street, Leawood, Kansas. We're applying for a change in officer for the corporation. John McDonald is leaving and Daniel Ellis is coming in. This is a change at the corporate headquarters only in Leawood, Kansas. There is no change in the aspect of their operations at the licensed premises. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us. Just to confirm for the record, there are no operational changes either.
Correct, no operational changes.
Thank you. Commissioner Kern and Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
No questions.
None for me.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on these items, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on items 4 or 5? Seeing none, the board will take these under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 6, Highgate Hotels LP, doing business as the Newberry Boston, located at 15 Arlington Street. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of officers, directors, LLC managers. Who is present on behalf of the licensee? Is anybody here present on behalf of the Newberry Boston? Okay. We will take a second call. Calling item number 7, 5NSQ LLC, doing business as Chow Roma, located at 5 North Square. Holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the DBA of the licensed business from Chow Roma to Chow Roma / Pharmacia. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Morning. Thank you, Secretary Green. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Brian Gosda from McDermott, Quilty Miller on behalf of the licensee. With me this morning on the call is Mike Wyatt, who is the Director of Operations for the restaurant. This is an application for a new DBA for the current restaurant with the existing DBA remaining as well. The existing bar within the premise will be operated under a slightly different concept to serve craft cocktails, whereas the remainder of the restaurant doing business as Chow Roma will remain Italian food forward. So other than the slight change in concept for the bar itself, there are no other operational changes proposed.
Okay. This is, so pharmacy is kind of operating in the front in the bar area, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So there's an existing bar in the restaurant. I believe it's about 6 or 7 seats. It's relatively small.
Okay.
So they're trying to operate the bar with a slightly different concept for craft cocktails.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Saxon, do you, or Commissioner Curran?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 8, PKL Boston LLC, doing business as PKL, located at 64 C Street in South Boston. Holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of stock interest, and secondly has petitioned for a change in ownership interest. Attorney Nicholas Zazula. Attorney Zazula.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Secretary Green, members of the board, Attorney Nick Zazula, McDermott, Quilty and Miller. Here with me from PKL Boston LLC, who is the licensee, is Andy Learhouse. As read into the record, this is an administrative application to change of stock interest and change of ownership interest for new investors and LLC members in the licensee entity as part of a Series B funding round for the licensee. This occurred after the licensee was first approved by this board back in November of 2021, about 6 or 7 months ago. So we are applying to have the records updated with these new investors on the license. There are no operational changes or other changes to the liquor license as part of this application. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you. I don't have any questions. Commissioners, do you?
I do not.
None for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 9, Geology Corp. Doing business as Get and Go, located at 563 Columbus Ave in Roxbury. Holder of a retail package wines and malt beverages license has petitioned for a change in officers directors of the corporation, and secondly has petitioned for a change in ownership interest. Attorney Andrew Upton. Attorney Upton.
Good morning, Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin on behalf of the applicants. The applicant seeking to remove Rajesh Kapadia as president, treasurer, secretary, and director, and seeking to replace him with Vijay Kapadia as director, Vikram Bharti as secretary, and Antim Kumar Parikh as president and treasurer. Furthermore, Rajesh Kapadia is seeking to transfer his 33.33% ownership interest to Vijay Kapadia. There are no operational changes to the store, just this officer and ownership change.
Thank you, Attorney Pisano. I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
None for me. Thank you.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well.
Thank you.
Calling item number 10, 47 Huntington Manager LLC, doing business as Copley Square Hotel located at 47 to 51 Huntington Avenue. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed business from in whole of said building on 7 floors with 143 guest rooms. First floor with main entrance to hotel lobby on Huntington Avenue, lobby with seating for 25, lounge with seating for 70, function room with seating for 79, and seasonal March to October outdoor patio on private property with seating for 24. 2, in whole of said building on 7 floors with 164 guest rooms. First floor with an entrance to hotel lobby on Huntington Avenue with fitness center. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning, Mr. Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dennis Quilty representing the applicant before you this morning with us, as well as Edward Donovan, who's the general manager of the hotel. This is a matter that's related to number 14 on your list. It is a reorganization of the various licensed spaces within the hotel property. The board is certainly aware that on the Exeter Street side of this building at the corner of Huntington and Exeter was an independent bar restaurant operation. That entity is changing hands and is seeking the addition of space formerly or presently part of the hotel. So the reduction here, the application here is to reduce from the hotel. And that would be the reduction of the lobby seating, the lounge, the function room, and the outdoor seating. Those would be transferred to the bar and restaurant operator. Interestingly, part of this space was part of that bar and restaurant years ago, and this now moves it back into their control. And again, that's number 14 on your list. So this only seeks to reduce those spaces so that we would then be able to pass them, if you will, to the bar and restaurant operator, and they will apply for their license accordingly.
Thank you.
Happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions at this time. Commissioners, do you?
None from me.
None for me either. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. We have heard no opposition or concerns from abutters on this case. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes, Jean Marie Conley. I am a resident at Trinity Place, which is next door to the hotel and restaurant. I'm also the president of the board. There have been establishments here before, and we're very concerned about noise, cleanliness, and where the outdoor seating will be as it relates to both number 10 and number 14.
Well, Madam Chair, I could only respond that if number 10 is passed, there will be no outdoor seating for number 10.
Will the outdoor space, Dennis, be on the Exeter Street side or the Huntington Street side?
I don't want to answer for them. They're following us by a couple of matters here, and they have their own application. So my belief is it's on the Huntington side, I think where it was originally. But again, I think Attorney Miller is present to handle that application and answer those questions. I honestly do not know. I think Huntington, but I'm not certain.
And
Okay.
again, there will be opportunity for those questions when we get to item number 14. This is specifically about the reduction of what's on the license for item number 10.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 11, Victoria GL LLC, doing business as Sushi Capo, located at 86 Peterborough Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Ash and Ben LLC, doing business as Sushi Capo at the same location. Lady Ann Ferrafino, manager, 11 p.m. closing hour. Attorney Mark White. Attorney White.
Good morning, Secretary Green, Madam Chair, and members of the board. I'm here on behalf of Ash and Ben LLC with Lady Ferrafino, the proposed manager. Just looking to petition for the transfer of the license, no change operationally whatsoever.
Thank you. And that's Lady Ferrafino with you?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just going to ask her the floor manager record questions. Are you a citizen?
Yes.
Are you a resident of Massachusetts?
Yes.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes.
And are you familiar with our rules and regulations, the ABCC's rules and regulations and the Commonwealth's laws as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I don't have any other questions. Commissioners, do you?
No questions for me.
None for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item number 12, Wagamama Boston 1 LLC, doing business as Wagamama, located at 100 Northern Avenue. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Limani Seaport Boston LLC, doing business as Limani Grill at the same location. Gentian Brajo, manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Morning again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon representing the applicant. With us this morning is Tali Sparopoulos, who is one of the owners of the proposed establishment, along with Chris Brajo, who is the proposed manager of record. He has been previously approved by the commission in Newton, where they're opening another Limani location. He is a U.S. citizen and a Massachusetts resident, and he's been working with the family and with their businesses for 2 decades. The application before you is a transfer at the same location. By way of introduction and background, Limani is an upscale Mediterranean and Greek style restaurant, which is owned by the Sparopoulos family. Telly, along with his parents, brothers, and sisters, in 2008 first opened their first Limani location in Roslyn, New York, which has been wildly popular since its inception. And in 2016, the family opened the second Limani location in Rockefeller Center. This location as well has also been very successful in its own right, and collectively the restaurants have been recognized as the best seafood restaurants on Long Island and in Manhattan. So the family also owns and operates 6 other restaurant concepts in New York, all of which have been exemplary licensees in their own rights in the upscale dining realm. As I previously mentioned, they are close to opening their first Massachusetts location in Chestnut Hill, which is located in the former Del Frisco space out there. They do have a loyal client base from the Boston area that had actually approached them several years back now, requesting that they explore opening in the Boston area, which they've been looking to do for the last several years. Obviously delayed a bit by COVID, not unlike from several other folks in the restaurant and hospitality industry, but now looking forward to joining the many varied restaurants that the Seaport neighborhood has to offer. As previously mentioned, the concept is rooted in Greek and Mediterranean cuisine. The menu is accessible, approachable, healthy, and creative. The space itself is approximately 6,400 square feet inside, with 550 square feet outside on a private property, April through October seasonal patio. Seats proposed for inside are 192 with 52 seats outside. Inside does have a bar, or will have a bar with bar area seating, along with 2 private dining rooms for various functions and events. The hours of operation proposed are 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. and similar to Wagamama's operations at this location under the subject license, who also had a 2 a.m. posted interior closing hour and 11 p.m. exterior closing hour. Limani will likely close earlier most nights, depending on demand, and in similar fashion to other restaurant businesses, but wish to keep the same posting hours like its predecessor at this location and several in the surrounding area in order to accommodate demand, functions, private buyouts, and the like. Happy to answer any questions or concerns the board might have.
Thank you. So Mr. Brajo has been approved by Newton already.
Correct.
Is he operating at that location in Newton, or was it a different restaurant?
It's that restaurant. They're getting close to opening. It hasn't opened yet, but it did go through the approval process, I believe, in 2019, but losing track of time with COVID.
We opened today, actually.
Oh, there you go, Telly.
Great. I don't have any questions at this time, Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran, do you?
Not at this time, thank you.
No questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flynn's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 13, LRTB LLC, doing business as Little Rose Taco Bar located at 150 State Street. Holder of a common victual or 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Apex Bar and Lounge, Inc., doing business as Apex Bar and Lounge at the same location. This application contains 4 transactional items, 3 of which were read into the record and heard by the board at its May 25th transactional hearing. Board voted to defer this application to clarify the license type, which is the subject of the additional transactional item for review by the board today. This applicant has petitioned to change the license type from a Section 12 restaurant all alcoholic beverages license to a Section 12 general on-premise all alcoholic beverages license. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Mr. Green, I am Tito Jackson. I would like to thank you for the opportunity today. I want to thank Madam Chair as well as the members of the board for this opportunity. As you may recall, I previously appeared before you to present this exciting lounge concept at 150 State Street. I'm here today to clarify the requested change in license type. We are requesting a change from a CB 7-day all alcohol beverage license to a general on-premise to reflect the fact that there is no kitchen or food preparation at the proposed license premise. As previously mentioned, we will seek to partner with area businesses to provide food, and will seek any and all necessary permits for the same at that time. This establishment will be open to the public with the exception of individuals who are not 21 years of age or older. This is what was presented to the community, and also, as you heard, has significant support from elected officials, Worth District Council, and members of the community. It is my understanding that the testimony did not need to be repeated today. There are no other changes to what was previously presented. I do want to clarify one additional point. At the last hearing before you, the chairwoman inquired about any intention to convert to social consumption if and when that is allowed. I just want to go on record and let you know I'm excited and honored to be able to open and operate this proposed lounge. I'm investing a significant amount of time and money into purchasing this license and opening this space. While I can't say what I would do, while I can't say I would never consider social consumption, that is simply not on the table at this time. I'm committed to this concept and this proposal right now. I'm happy to answer any and all additional questions from the board and greatly appreciate your time today.
Great, thank you. Just want to pick up where we left off the testimony before, as far as the general on-premise license. Before, it was categorized as a club license. So now that it's opened up to the public and you're going to be co-located in the same building with the cannabis establishment, can you describe for us what your security plan will be?
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Chairwoman. We will have physical security outside. We will have 2 individuals separate, one for cannabis, and separate from that person will be a Apex Bar and Lounge individual to check licenses to make sure individuals are of age. We will escort the individuals in to the building. We actually have an elevator that has a get upstairs without actually being buzzed, actually key carded upstairs. In addition, we will have a walkie-talkie system, and there will be security on the 6th as well as 7th floor. We will radio up to let them know how many individuals are expected to come out the other side. We have spent extensive, a lot of funds to upgrade the build camera system that is hardwired throughout the whole building. In addition, we have access control for every single door in the building. We will be making sure that the two businesses are separated at all times.
So will this be a private security company or will they be employees of the lounge?
Madam Chairwoman, we are intent that these
Not to interrupt
individuals
you, but we
will
can't hear
be
you.
part of our organization and report directly.
Not to interrupt you, but
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
it's kind of jumbled. I was going to suggest if you
Can you-
don't mind turning your camera off and maybe just repeat the thing about the security. Great.
Madam-
We can hear you now. You were starting to say that the security company will be, I'm not sure.
So we are going to have our security agents in-house. They will report directly to us. We believe that is the manner in which we can hold individuals most accountable.
Okay, so there'll be one security person by the elevator on the first floor assigned just to the lounge, and that person will check IDs using a scanner. Is that, can you give me a little more details about that?
Yes, Madam Chair, we actually, there will be a person stationed there, but the individuals, we don't actually want individuals in the building who have not been scanned. So they would actually be scanned prior to breaking the threshold outside. Then the guests will be escorted to the elevator where we would actually have another security agent. That security agent would tap them in order for them to proceed up to the 6th or 7th floor. We have a walkie-talkie system, and we have standard operating procedures in place where individuals would make a call upstairs to let the security staff on the 6th or 7th floor know how many individuals are going upstairs. Our elevator is set up such that it cannot be moved other than to the first floor without access control.
Okay, and then you said there's a back staircase that is, you also need a fob to get out? Is that right?
Yes. So, Madam Chair, every door in the stairwells has a access control panel. There are two stairwells. One stairwell, which is actually to the right, is open, is essentially a common use, but the back stairwell that actually leads all the way down to the basement is actually only for the cannabis business and not accessible to any other guests.
So my concern is like, let's say there's a fire or something, how do guests get out if it only is accessible by a security panel?
There are two means of egress. One is the elevator, and the second is the stairwell. So, Madam Chair, there are two stairwells in the building, and again, one stairwell is accessible to the public. The other stairwell is actually back of house for the cannabis business.
So the one that's accessible to the public, that it sounds like that is separate from, it doesn't lead to the cannabis establishment. In an emergency, how does someone on one of the top floors exit it? Is there a bar?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. There's a bar.
Emergency bar, emergency exit.
Yes, ma'am. They would just hit the bar on the door. They can open the door and they would proceed downstairs. Every single one of the doors that they will pass have access control and are not available or are not accessible to the public.
What does that mean, access control? I'm sorry, I just don't know.
It's a key card or fob.
That's my question. If there's a fire and you need a key card to get out, how does somebody who's just having a drink in your lounge get out?
No, Madam Chairwoman, is actually that would be to get into those doors. All of the doors, this building was updated 3 years ago. And all of the fire safety and procedures have previously been signed off. So going out, there is a bar for individuals to push on the door, and they are then able to go down the stairs all the way to the first floor and proceed out of the building.
Okay, thank you for explaining that and answering my questions. Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions? Commissioner
I
Curran?
do not. Thank you so much.
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin from Mayor's Office Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague. Again, we didn't know if you needed this again, but we spoke last time, the community process was completed and there was a meeting held by our office by Sierra D'Amico. At this time, our office would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Calling item number 14, Speakeasy Group, Inc. as general partner of Speakeasy Limited Partnership, doing business as Storyville, located at 90 Exeter Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to Stark Hospitality LLC, doing business as Hugh at the same location. Nicholas Saber, manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Secondly, has petitioned to change the description of the licensed premise from in one room on first floor with entrance exit to Exeter Street, main hotel lobby and loading dock. Basement with 2 rooms with bar at east wall, bar at west wall, and center bar, as well as separate kitchen, stockroom, and restrooms. 2, on 2 floors, approximately 9,000 square feet of lower level restaurant space with kitchen, 2 bars, and seating for 177 patrons. 1,500 square feet of street level interior space with bar and seating for 72 patrons, and adjacent outside street level seasonal March to October patio on private property with seating for 24, with an outdoor closing hour of 11 p.m. Lastly, has petitioned to pledge the license to 47 Huntington Owner LLC. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Chairman Joyce, Commissioners, Secretary Green, Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty and Miller in Boston on behalf of the licensee or the applicant. I am joined today by members of the ownership team, Nick Saber, who is the proposed manager of record, Stephen Saber, Robert Eugene, and George Abajadi. This application, as Secretary Green said, is a transfer of this existing license to the applicant in the same location. As you heard from earlier from Attorney Quilty, this application is also applying to alter the premise to include what was formerly the lobby bar of the hotel that shares the building with this licensed premise. The applicant is proposing to bring this space back to its original roots, converting it from the club style atmosphere that Storyville was to a restaurant on its lower level, and to continue the operation of the lobby bar on the ground level in the space previously occupied by the hotel. There will be a total of 279 seats with 177 downstairs and 72 on the ground floor, with 24 on the patio outside. The concept here is a globally inspired menu that reflects the people of Boston in their diversity. The applicant is proposing to continue the lobby bar is a place where guests of the hotel and residents of the neighborhood can come grab a bite to eat. This patio is on private property. It is on the Huntington Street side of the building, and it will be operated seasonally and will close at 11 p.m. The restaurant downstairs will feature shareable plates with that global inspiration and a modern American style. This space is designed to attract an older, more sophisticated crowd. Both spaces will offer food until 1:30 a.m., which we've spoken with NAB about. The applicant will provide their own in-house security, who will be trained and will be tip certified. And additionally, to allay any concerns on underage service, there will be an ID scanner on site if there's any question on the authenticity of a license. The lower level is accessed through a separate entrance and will be 21 plus after 9 p.m. As I mentioned earlier, Nick Saber is the proposed manager of record. He is a citizen of the US and a resident of the Commonwealth. He has been familiarizing himself with the rules and regulations of the board and the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to the sale and service of alcohol. As I also mentioned earlier, George Abajadi is a member of the ownership team. And as the board is aware, he has extensive experience in the restaurant industry. Prior to opening here, Nick will work with George at his other locations. He will learn the operations of a restaurant, and he'll be able to put into practice what he has learned in his review of the rules and regulations. George is going to continue to be a resource for Nick throughout the operation of Hugh. Additionally, the applicant here expects to open the space in phases as they are able to hire and train their staff, starting with the lobby bar. This will allow Nick not only to put into practice what he has learned through his, for lack of a better term, apprenticeship with George, but to transition these skills specifically to operating Hugh. We want to thank you guys for the board for hearing us today, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Attorney Miller. Chairwoman Joyce, any questions?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran?
None from me, thank you.
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any
Good
other?
morning. Sorry, good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Fling's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. We heard from the Back Bay Neighborhood Association, and they did mention that they have no issues with the proposal. The only issue that they have is to make sure that the kitchen closed at 1:30 a.m. to have that as a proviso on the license. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Me again.
Yes, you may go ahead.
I think 14 is the right place for this now. Just want a little more clarification on security and what happens at 2 a.m. when the bar closes on Huntington and Exeter in terms of noise, crowd control, etc. Tom.
Yep. So as I mentioned, the plan here isn't necessarily to have, not the plan. The proposed operation is not a club, so we're not expecting a closing, kick everybody out and empty the restaurant. It'll likely be a phased exiting over time. While there will be some patrons, hopefully we're successful enough where the operations will continue till 2. The security team will be trained based on George's experience in the industry to disperse the crowd in a way so that they're not congregating, not gathering, and not disturbing you and your board members.
Okay, and so the 9,000 square feet is below street level, and that's all restaurant and bar?
Yes, that is going to be a restaurant. There's no dance floor proposed. We're creating a supper club here, a place people can come and enjoy food and in music and whatnot, but not, this isn't no dance floor, no dance club.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
No problem.
This is Lisa Mulvar, also a resident and a butter at 1 Huntington Avenue. Is there going to be a requirement with the liquor license that people order food to be able to order drinks?
No, it was not.
No, but the kitchen will be open. This isn't a massive bar area. This is, there's a lot of table seating, a lot of table service. This is going to be a restaurant where people come to dine, not a place where people come to belly up to a bar and just drink. So while there's not a requirement that they order food, there will be a menu available through 1:30 a.m. For people to enjoy food with their drinks.
Okay, and is there, like, the security that you will have in place, is that on your staff or is that an outside company? And will they, at the end of the evening, if there are large crowds gathering, will they provide some sort of crowd control? Because with Storyville, the previous establishment, that was a big issue in terms of noise and some violence and such at the end of the evening?
So a couple of things. Yes, the security staff will be in-house security. We are going to hire, train them, and make sure they are appropriately and adequately responsible for the area. We are not expecting to attract that same crowd as Storyville, so we are not expecting that same issue at the end of the night. We understand that was a concern, but this is a different concept with a different older, for lack of a better term, more sophisticated target demographic. So we're not expecting those same issues, but the security team will be trained to handle and disperse as necessary in a way to limit the impact on you and the building as much as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Miller. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes, I'm Barbara Grossman, and I'm also an abutter resident. You say that your target client is not a younger crowd, but is an older, more sophisticated crowd. But being an older, more sophisticated person, I know that I and my friends really don't go to places that stay open till 1:30. And I think that the crowd who comes in later will inevitably be much younger and more enthusiastic in their party. So I am concerned that we will have a repeat of the people coming out of your establishment who are younger, having a good time and noisy.
We understand that concern. We're going to work very hard to prevent that from affecting you and other residents of the building. Nick and George are going to be, and Stephen and Robert are all available. Nick will be on site most days and contactable. If you are having issues, speak to him. I will drop my email in the chat going forward. Reach out to me. The idea here is not to create a place that is a burden on the neighborhood. We want to create a place that fits in with this area and is an amenity and benefit to the community. But if we're causing you problems, we want to do what we can to rectify and fix that.
Would you be willing to have an earlier closing hour? Because that would change the demographic significantly of the people who are interested in coming to your new establishment. We think that there is, and we understand your concerns, but we think that there is a need and a demand to continue the 2 a.m. closing hour that exists at the restaurant now. And that is something that our business model is based on. So we would like to maintain that 2 a.m. closing hour.
Thank you. We're going to move on now to folks who have not yet provided testimony. Is there anybody else who would like to provide testimony who has not yet done so?
Yes, please. My name is Faith Cunin. I'm also a resident at 1 Huntington, and as such, I'm an abutter to the premises. I'm also concerned about the 2 a.m. closing hour. I would specifically like to request that the board defer its decision on the transfer and amendment to the license until there has been an abutters hearing, or at least in a meeting between the applicant and the abutters, so we can all fully understand the plans in greater detail. I'm concerned really about, Storyville has not been in business since, I believe, prior to the pandemic. And I'm not sure there's a public need right now for a 2 a.m. closing hour establishment at that location. And if it really is in the common good of the abutters, the block, and in the neighborhood. All that said, I also acknowledge the fact that there is a case to be made for a thoughtful, lovely restaurant in that location for the neighborhood. But the 2 a.m. closing hour is a problem. It's that old expression, nothing good happens at 2 a.m. So I'm just concerned about that mix in the neighborhood. And as I understand it, Storyville was a problem. And the few times I encountered the 2 a.m. traffic, meaning pedestrian traffic at that location, it was problematic and it's worrisome.
Thank you, Ms. Cunin. Is there anybody else who has not yet testified who would like to do so?
My name's Conrad Armstrong from 439 Marble Street, representing the Neighborhood Association Back Bay.
The applicant met with us in December, and although we had similar concerns about noise and problems that Storyville had, we felt that this new concept is different. The floor layout plan includes tables that are fixed booths that can't be moved out of the way to become a dance floor. And we asked the kitchen stay open till 1:30, which helps emphasize the point that this is a dinner place and not a nightclub. And so NAB does not oppose this.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who have not yet testified who would like to do so on this matter? The board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 15, Sapa LLC, doing business as Sapa Restaurant located at 92 Bedford Street, holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages with liqueurs license, has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to the Crab Shack Corp., doing business as the Crab Shack located at 950 American Legion Highway in Roslindale. Premises consist of a single floor operation, 94,979 square feet, with dining area, seating capacity 112, kitchen, bar, and stock on the same floor. Lee, manager, closing hour 11 p.m. Attorney Wei Jia. Attorney Jia.
Madam Chair and the member of the board. My name is Wei Jia. I'm my office at the 145 Tremont Street, Boston. Pending is an application for common victuals license and a the 7-day wine and malt license transfer application, in which we also request a change of location from the current licensed premises at the 92 Bedford Street to the new location of 950 Legion Highway in Roslindale. Now, this is a newly renovated restaurant located right at the Stop and Shop Plaza between that triangular space between the American Legion Highway and the Cummings Highway, with about 5,000 square feet and over 100 seats. Now, in the application process, we have reached out to Councilor Waller's office. We also worked the mayor's office in the neighborhood. We had a butters meeting on June 1. We also had the suggestion of our councilor's office. We also reached out to Mr. Rick Yoder and Lisa Beedman, chair of the local civic association, by email. That was back in May, but we were offering to meet with them either in person or virtually, but we have not received any response until June 3rd, when I heard from Maria Farrell. Maria told me that Mr. Yoder wanted to know whether our application was going forward to today's hearing. Now, in any event, Mr. Lee is the proposed manager in the application, and he has at least 10 years experience running a restaurant. And they have the operator and the owner. They have two restaurants in other states, in Texas and New York, with a similar concept. Mr. Lee is the United States citizen and a resident of the Commonwealth. Mr. Lee, however, has no experience in serving liquor beverages, despite his previous tenure as a restaurant manager. But he's studying in the process of getting this knowledge, familiarizing this knowledge about Massachusetts law, BCC regulations, etc. And I believe he's getting these knowledges while he's getting him tip certified. And before I conclude, I also want to add that the applicant also requests that the city issues a temporary common victuals license at this time, because the inspection services have already conducted and completed this inspection. And I believe the food service permit and the certificate occupancy have been issued. And we would like to have a temp license to open for business while the city and the ABCC considers the pending liquor license transfer application. And thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Joyce, any questions?
I just want to make sure Mr. Lee is here.
Mr. Lee, I believe he's here, but I can from my cell phone.
Oh, I see him.
He is. We see him, yes.
All right. Thank you for joining us. And attorney, thank you for covering the manager record questions. At this time, I don't have any further questions. Commissioners, do you?
Not this time. Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. I'm speaking on behalf of my colleague, Uju Inochi. She held a community meeting for this application on June 1st, and then they contacted the neighborhood association after. At this time, Uju has not received commentary from the community and would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 16, Saturday Afternoon Inc., doing business as The Machine/Ramrod, located at 1254 Boylston Street. Holder of a general on-premise all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to 110 Boulevard Restaurant LLC, doing business as 110 Boulevard, located at 110 Broad Street. Premise consists of in one room on first floor, consisting of 3,550 square feet, with bar seating of 8 and table seating of 102, bathrooms to right of entrance, and kitchen and storage in rear. Lazarus Esquitas, manager, closing hour 2 a.m. Secondly, has petitioned to change the type of license from a Section 12 general on-premise all alcoholic beverages license to a Section 12 restaurant all alcoholic beverages license. Attorney Carolyn Conway. Attorney Conway.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Green, Carolyn Conway, 350 West Broadway, on behalf of the licensee. And I have with me today Mr. Lazarus Esquitas, who is the proposed manager of record and who will be operating the restaurant. This is a transfer of a license from the former Boston Ramrod on Boylston Street and going to 110 Broad Street and going to become a restaurant. So that's why we're asking for the change of license type from a general on-premise to a restaurant. Going to the location, which for many, many years was the home to many pubs, I think the most famous of which was Ayers Rock for a while, and I believe the last incarnation was for the Littlest. We're looking to put in a small plates type of operation that is specifically designed for the immediate residents of the area. This morning, I submitted to the board a PowerPoint presentation, which goes through the type of foods that we're going to be serving there. I would best describe it as a charcuterie restaurant. It's not going to do major cooking. It will have some hot sandwiches, but mostly it's going to be cured meats, cheeses, brandied fruits, that type of thing. And it is, even though it has an all alcohol license, it will be concentrating on wine. And as I said, it is specifically designed for the neighbors, the people all within walking distance. We've talked to some people from all around the area, and they seem that this would be the perfect fit for the various new condos in the area. As the application indicates, Mr. Esquitas has well over 30 years experience in the industry. As a matter of fact, he's coming out of higher management at Costa Provisions to come in and operate this license. This basically is the first foray of Costa Provisions going into the retail restaurant. And this is intended to be, as I said, their first foray, but also a real proud moment on their part. So we're looking to put in, it has a capacity of approximately 110. It has a very small bar, only 8 seats. As I said, it's intended to be a neighborhood gathering spot. We do have asked for a 2 o'clock license, but we think that that's only in connection maybe with some, special parties or whatever. We would expect to close with whatever the neighborhood bears, and we don't expect it to be that late on a regular basis. So Mr. Esquitas is a resident of Massachusetts. He's a citizen. And as I said, we've submitted his resume in connection with the application, but well over 30 years in the restaurant and bar industry, and also now with Costa Provisions and senior manager. we're happy to answer any questions that the board or anybody may have in connection with this.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Conway, and thank you for joining us today, Mr. Askidas. Thanks for the presentation. We did review that. It was very helpful. As far as the closing hour, can you give some more clarity as to your statement? They'll close whenever the neighborhood bears. What's your business plan? What is it going to be?
So the business plan is basically open for lunch, possibly breakfast, but more coffees, like specialty coffees, a display for pastries. This works well with what I'm doing right now, is importing a lot of stuff from overseas that people haven't had the chance to see. So it's going to be almost like a display of our specialty items. We'd like to go into dinner, but more of a tapas, type of situation. The seating is built in a way where we can have community tables if we want, just by putting them together. It's a local pre-going out type of thing. I think it will help the neighborhood. We don't want to be a burden to anyone. I've ran Il Panino on Franklin Street for Mr. Di Pasquale years ago. I know the area pretty well. When it was the Times and all the other bars that were there. But the reason why is we have an opportunity to get a license and, very transparent, to have a license at 2 o'clock. We'd like to keep that just in case of a special occasion, just because of parties, meaning private parties. But not planning on, I'm actually too old to stay out till 2 o'clock, to be honest with you. So if, depending, it's going to be a lot of trial and error to find out exactly what mixes in well over there.
So
we excuse me, no, please go ahead.
Just some more clarity as well, like you have an all-out license, but you stated that you're going to focus on wines, and your presentation just showed food. Will you be offering drinks other than just wine?
Yes, we'll have specialty drinks, more concentrate on specialty drinks. So whatever the menu, that we put out, seasonal or, other, will show those type of drinks, like flowery drinks and decorative type of glassware. I wish we could do the scorpion type of balls, but I think that's long gone. But, that type of thing. But if somebody wants, like Tito's and Cran, what are you going to do?
Okay.
And as I said we do anticipate, as I said, that we want to concentrate on the neighborhood. So we think that during the week that we would be closed, probably somewhere around 11 o'clock at night. We don't know what the weekend will bring, but we don't anticipate that we would make an effort to stay open only when the public demand is there.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions? Commissioner Cohen?
I do not. Thank you.
Not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm Molly Griffin from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. I'm speaking on behalf of my colleague, Sierra D'Amico. There was no community meeting held regarding this, so we'd respectfully ask the board to defer the vote until there's a discussion between our office and the applicant in terms of a community meeting. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flynn's office. I would like to echo Molly Griffin's comments. We also heard from the Wharf District Council. They have not presented to them either, so we would like the proponent to go through the community process before presenting to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Jody Adams, and I'm an owner at Trade Restaurant down the street. I understand that there's a process for the review and respect that. And I just wanted to jump in and say, bringing more quality, exciting restaurants to the Greenway at this end would be really a wonderful thing. We want to activate this part of the neighborhood. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify?
If I may,
My name,
oh, sorry.
Sorry, one
Sorry.
moment. Was someone trying to speak?
yes, I was trying to speak. I'm a new owner at 110 Broad Street, and I certainly welcome the idea of a restaurant moving in downstairs. I do worry a little bit about a 2 a.m. closing. I can't see the need for it, given the concept that you're talking about. So I just wanted to register that concern as a building owner.
Thank you. Attorney Conway, were you about to speak?
Yes, I took this over for prior council and I was assured that there had been the community process, but I don't want to circumvent that in any way. So we're happy to go and meet with the community and then report back to the board if we can just defer the vote. And I'll be happy to work with Mayor's office and Councilor Flynn's office to make sure that we're on board with everything.
Thank you. We'll make sure we get you connected to the correct ONS rep for
Thank
the
you.
process. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify who have not yet done so on this item?
Good morning. This is Attorney Chaz Fisher. I am the prior counsel working with Attorney Carolyn Conway. I am continuing to work on behalf of this client, second chair to Attorney Conway. And with respect to the community meeting, myself and the manager, Lazarus Taskidis, did have 2 meetings with the Wharf Council with respect to this property and this location. At those 2 meetings that were held, there was not opposition. There was just inquiry as to what type of foods would be served and the time of closure. So respectfully, I would like to offer that additional information. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Fisher. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify? Okay, the board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
We'll take
Thank
it.
you all.
We'll be in touch with the board. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Calling item number 17, CCSW Fenway LLC, doing business as by Chloe, located at 1425 Boylston Street. Holder of a common victualler 7-day wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Grub Street Inc., doing business as Grub Street, located at 50 Liberty Drive. Premise consists of in one large room on ground floor, comprised of cafe space with seating areas and service counter, food prep area and kitchen in rear, with storage and office space, together with additional bookstore space with lounge seating. In one additional room on ground floor for event space and additional seating. Seasonal April to 11 outdoor seating on private property alongside Waterside Drive, 34 seats with an 11 p.m. closing hour. Second floor to include additional storage, restrooms and office space, together with podcasting room and instructor space, community lounge area, and 7 classroom spaces. Eve Bridberg, manager, closing hour 12 a.m. And the board has already found public need for a license for this operator at this location. What is before us today is this transfer. Attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Thank you, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Dennis Quilty representing the applicant, Grub Street Inc., DBA Grub Street. As Mr. Green indicated, we were before the board on October 27th of 2021, and at that time were approved pending availability of a restricted license we had applied for. None became available, and we then decided the best option was to seek out a purchase and sale of an existing license, which is what brings us back to you today. It is the same operation as that which was approved back in 2021. Just for a little bit of background, the applicant is a 501c3, primarily involved in the development of writers, nurturing readers and arts audiences. They're really a valuable asset, we hope and think, to the residential community around us, as a bookstore space with the areas for presentations by authors, book readings and the like. Very kind of limited size and hours, and we have been fully vetted through the Fort Point Neighborhood Association and through the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services and District Councilor Flynn. So again, I mean, we're hoping that the earlier approvals will carry through to today. I will add one thing, Madam Chair. Ms. Bridberg, who's with us today, is an executive and a board member with the institution. And she is, at this moment in time, a placeholder. The previously approved manager, Mr. Cho, has left the operation, if you will, and Ms. Brigberg is stepping in today to basically hold the space until they can hire a manager to run the alcohol program, and then we'll be back in front of you to change manager at that time. So she is otherwise a U.S. citizen and a Mass resident, but wanted to be very upfront about her experience in the industry. Thank you. And she is with us this morning. And Lou Valena, who's also an executive with the entity, is with us to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Thanks for joining us as well, Ms. Friedberg. We'll have you back before us when there's a permanent manager of record. But at this time, I don't have any questions. Commissioner Saxon and Commissioner Curran.
No questions for me. Thank you.
No questions for me either. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Again, just to reiterate, there was a community process completed back in the fall, I think Attorney Coulter said, by Haley Dillon. So we'd like to defer judgment again to the board. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flynn's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 18, Fresh Boston Retail LLC, doing business as Fresh Boston, located at 232 Old Colony Ave in South Boston, has applied for a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above in one section of first floor of 232 Old Colony Avenue, consisting of 341 square feet with one entrance. Manager Alexis Sillery, closing time 11 p.m. Attorney Carolyn Conway. Attorney Conway.
Again, good morning, members of the board. Attorney Green. I have with me today Alexis Sillery, who needs to turn on her video, and who is the owner and proposed manager of this licensee. There she is. And this is going, it's this site of the old Stadium restaurant. I don't know if any, which has been closed for a long time. And after many discussions with the neighborhood, and we're bringing in a concept out of Nantucket that has been very, very successful in Nantucket. It's called Fresh Nantucket, and now we are looking to open up two symbiotic operations. This is the first coming down the line. The restaurants, it should be heard in the next couple of weeks. And what it does is it addresses, after the emergency to go legislation is now to have a hybrid, where there is going to be a restaurant with a very extensive takeout with a companion small liquor store, if you will, so that people coming in and going into the restaurant will be able to order takeout food, but also be able to go into the store and get beer, wine, and liqueurs liquors to go with their takeout food. So the package store part of it will take up approximately 340 square feet of the first floor of 232 Old Colony Avenue. It will be run by Mrs. Sillery, who has extensive experience, and she's going to go over that in the alcohol industry. She will be running that. The store is separated from the restaurant by different markings, different flooring. You can see it on the floor plan that we have submitted, and will be, as I said, it's a companion operation to the restaurant that is going to be there. We met with the Andrews Square Civic Association, and we have pledged, and we're pledging today, that we do not want any nips, nor do we agree also to not sell pints in the store. The store is going to be, as I said, just for anybody who wants to go in to the basically extensive takeout operation and get alcohol to go. Mrs. Sillery is a citizen of Massachusetts, well, citizen and a resident of Massachusetts. She's a veteran, and she's also familiar with the rules and regulations of the Commonwealth and the city of Boston with respect to alcohol service. She is coming back after a little bit away to raise children, to come back into the market, and we're very much looking forward to bringing this concept to Boston, which has been so successful in Nantucket.
Attorney Conway, is this only for people who are getting takeout from the restaurant, or can anyone in the public come in and?
Well, anyone from the public can come in. There is a separate entrance. When you look at the floor plan, there is to the left of the, there is a separate entrance that would go in directly into the retail package store part of it, but we don't anticipate that's the main draw. The main draw here is the freshly sourced, salads, sandwiches, all of that's going in. As I said, the restaurant will be set up to have an extensive takeout operation, and this is intended to be a companion to it. So, as I said, in the next several weeks, you'll see the restaurant. We're taking a floor away from the old stadium and putting it in. There's pretty limited seating in the restaurant. As I said, it emphasizes the to-go, but we believe that with all of the new condos, everything going in, and the population that's there, this is going to be a really truly great addition to the neighborhood down on Old Colony Avenue. And Mrs. Sillery is prepared to testify as to her background in the industry and what she intends to do with this. It's very small space, but we're looking, very forward to it.
Okay, Ms. Sillery, what is your background in the industry?
Hi, good morning. My background is I am, as Mrs. Conway said, I'm an Army veteran. I have been in and out of the service industry for the past 20 years. I've worked in Boston, the South Shore, you name it, I've been there. I have raised 3 small children. I am very excited to get back into a full-time job running an amazing takeout with liquor, and our concentration is wine.
All right, thank you. So what was just the experience in the food and beverage industry?
I have been, yes, thank you. I started as a server and then a bartender, and my last job before I raised my children, I opened up Legal Harborside. I was part of the opening team with Roger Berkowitz. I did all 3 floors from the casual dining, fine dining, and the roof deck.
Okay, that'll do it. Thank you. Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Kern, do you have any questions?
No questions from me. Thank you.
Not at this time.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin again from the Mayor's Office Neighborhood Services. Sorry, I'm speaking on behalf of all of my colleagues today, but Attorney Conway, was there an abutters meeting for this? There's just been a lot of with the transition between liaisons, some stuff is.
Well, it was right at the end of Haley's tenure, and Haley told us that we did not have to have an abutters meeting because really it's kind of surrounded by parking lot, a parking lot on the one side and the street on the other. So what we did was we went to the Andrew Square Civic Association and made a full presentation to them as to what the concept was. Mr. Charles Merritt, who is going to be the new manager of the restaurant part, was there. He's actually online today if you have any questions for him. And so we we received very nice support from the Andrew Square Civic Association.
Okay, great. No, thank you. It's hard to track down some of the information, but thank you for that. So we'd like to defer to the board's judgment on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Molly.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Council President Flynn's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. As the proponent mentioned, they met with the Andrew Square Civic Association where they expressed no concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Great. The board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Calling item number 19, Yak Thai Inc. doing
Thank
business
you.
as, oh, thank you. Yak Thai Inc. doing business as Thonglor, located at 559 Washington Street in Brighton, has applied for a common victual or 7-day alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above 1,000 square feet in one room on first floor, seating for 38, kitchen in rear, storage in basement. Manager Piapong Wangla, closing time 11 p.m. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon representing the applicant. Signed on with us this morning is Piapong Wangla, who is the owner and proposed manager of record of Tongla, which will be located at 559 Washington Street in Oak Square, which falls into the Brighton Main Streets district. The application before you seeks a new neighborhood restricted all alcohol beverage license. By way of background, Piapong is a U.S. citizen, Massachusetts resident, and is familiar with the rules and regulations regarding the service and sale of alcohol. He does have extensive experience in the restaurant industry, including owning another restaurant on Beacon Street in Brookline for the past 8+ years, known as Giggling Rice Thai. Tongla will be his second restaurant, serving traditional Thai food for lunch and dinner. The size, capacity, and hours of operation are proposed to be the same as the previous operator at this location, which was known as 12 Hours. It's only about 1,000 square feet with 38 seats and hours of operation daily from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Because this is an application for a new license, and as far as public need is concerned, because of the sheer size of the restaurant, as mentioned, it's only about 1,000 square feet. Makes little financial sense for an operator such as Piapong to purchase a license. This is precisely the type of applicant in mind with the intent of the legislation creating these restricted licenses. The location is definitely appropriate. It's always and historically been a restaurant. It was a previous Asian restaurant concept at this location, but it's been vacant for a little bit now. So they'd be reactivating a vibrant location of Oak Square in Brighton. And he hopes that this location will continue to be a beloved restaurant, a neighborhood restaurant, while having the opportunity to serve alcohol beverages at this location. The majority of licenses in the nearby vicinity are concentrated down Washington Street, about a half a mile down the road. So there's definitely gaps in the neighborhood of where licenses are in operation and available at different restaurants. So he's looking forward to keeping or to the opportunity to keep a Southeast Asian inspired restaurant concept at this location. While being able to establish a great dine-in option, offering folks a cocktail, a glass of wine or a beer. The focus with the type of restaurant it is definitely remains on the food, but as the board knows, a license definitely helps both the patron and the business while enhancing the dining experience and offerings a business is able to provide in order to maintain and thrive in this neighborhood location. As far as community outreach is concerned, we did have in Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services sponsored a Butters meeting in March, along with meeting with the BAIA, who was supportive of the proposal. I believe the board may have received support letter from nearby Butters as well. With that being said, happy to answer any questions or concerns that the board might have regarding this proposal.
I don't have any questions or concerns, and thanks for laying out the facts there and for the manager of record questions. Commissioner Saxon and Commissioner Kern, do you have any questions or concerns?
No questions at this time. Thank
you. No questions right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Connor Newman. Like Attorney Scanlon just said, there was an abutters meeting held on March 9th. One abutter had some reservations, but the applicant promised to work directly with her if issues arise. And we hope to keep good on that pledge. We also received one letter of support from a neighbor, and the local civic, the Brighton Austin Improvement Association, has supported to support the proposal as well. At this time, our office would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. We will take a second call now for item number 6 on this morning's agenda. Is there anybody present from the Newbury Boston? I thought we had been joined by somebody. There we go. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Sorry about
Great.
that.
Nope, no problem. Let me just read the item back into the record. This is item number 6 on this morning's agenda. Highgate Hotels LP, doing business as the Newbury Boston at 15 Arlington Street, holder of an in-holder alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned for a change of officers, directors, LLC managers. Could you please just identify yourself and present to the board your proposal?
Yes, my name is Taylor Yell. I'm with Bluebonnet Consulting outside of Dallas. We work with Highgate with most of their liquor licensing. We're just looking to add Edward Winslow Martin as Vice President for Highgate LP, Highgate Hotels LP.
Okay, thank you. Just to confirm, there's no changes to any operations.
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Any questions from Commissioner Saxon or Commissioner Curran? No? Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Yao.
Thank you.
Those are all of the items before the board this morning. And once again, as a reminder, the board will be voting this afternoon at 2 o'clock for this week only. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you.